Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for Saturday Night Wild Card Showdown slate. We got everything going on in this game. Starting off at 4:30 with a matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. We got Joe Burrow in his first playoff game, and you got Derek Carr finally in his first playoff game. Veteran versus a very young quarterback. Very intriguing matchup. They already played earlier this season in Week 11. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And if you're a viewer and you're not a subscriber yet to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please, we are trying to get to 1K. 1K is going to be the giveaway. Let's continue to jump this number past. Let's just get past 700. We're already past 700. Let's get past 800, 900, 1K. 1K is the goal, all right? Please, guys, continue to propel me forward to that number, and then we'll set a new goal, and then we'll go after that. But also, before I deep dive into it, don't forget, sign up for the Patreon. We're doing daily DFS and betting on that. If you have any other questions, please get back to me on Instagram. DM me there, and also the link will be down below. The link will always be down below. Okay, now let's get into this juicy slate we got going on between the Bengals and the Raiders. Starting off with the captain position, there's a lot of ways you can go. You see Jamar Chase, you see Joe Burrow, but what I'm going to focus on is going to be one of the main weaknesses to this Raiders defense, and it's the running game. They struggle stopping the run. Eckler had a very good game in Week 18. Joe Mixon had a very good game in this previous matchup. If we go back to Week 11, I can see Joe Mixon getting back to this, and it's going to be very essential for a young quarterback in his first playoff game. A lot of hostility. Everything is on the line that they need to get the running game going. It's going to be very key for Joe Burrow that Joe Mixon has everything perfect, so that things can open up for Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, because that Raiders secondary is top-notch, and their pass rush between Ngakoue and Max Crosby is top-notch as well. Right? That is their strength. But Joe Mixon in that previous matchup in Week 11, 30 rushes, 123 yards, and 2 TDs. They really leaned on him. They didn't even need him in the receiving game. That he does provide that as an X factor as well. He's been finishing strong in the receiving game in Week 16 and Week 17. So I love Joe Mixon as a captain option in this game. If we're looking at the biggest weakness on both sides of the ball, it's going to be that, okay? So I love Joe Mixon at the captain position. Next, we can also look at Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been unguardable. A lot of up and down, not a lot of up and down weeks. Last week, obviously, he did not have his quarterback. It was understandable, 2 for 4. That's fine. Against KC and against Baltimore, he showed out. 58 fantasy points against the Chiefs. If we get that kind of performance in this playoff game going up against the Raiders, they will have a very long night. They got Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase going at it. A lot of X factors on the Bengals side, but we can definitely get with Jamar Chase at 11,600. He's going to be hard to fade because of the upside. In the previous matchup, he did struggle against the Raiders. They do have Casey Hayward, but he was able to get in the end zone, and that can be an X factor right there, just to have someone in the back pocket that when they get in the red zone, they're going to be looking for Jamar Chase. He had an outstanding year this year for a rookie. Outstanding. Jamar Chase is someone we can definitely consider at the captain spot. Next, who we're going to look at, and we're going to go in tiers here. We're going to bump down Joe Burrow because of the respect I have for this defense with the Las Vegas Raiders. If we're looking at fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks, you have the Raiders all the way down here in 10th. And that showed in that Week 11 matchup, and that showed in Week 18, other than that wild 14-point comeback in the fourth quarter. That was an anomaly, okay? What we're going to explore here next for the captain position, we can definitely go with Darren Waller and or Hunter Renfrow. I want to key in on these guys for the Las Vegas Raiders because Renfrow has become a #1 wide receiver for this team. A slot guy, but a big X factor, similar to Cooper Kupp. I call him Cooper Kupp Jr. Hunter Renfrow has been putting on an outstanding display of route running. Okay, he's literally taken Cooper Kupp's move in the red zone, where it's like a cut in, cut it out, and a cut back in, or he'll reverse it where it cuts back out towards the sideline. It's like a 2 to 3 cuts, and then Hunter Renfrow will make his decision if he's going to leak out left or leak out right. It's been pretty good, and you saw it on week 18 to get one of his 2 touchdowns. He did it. He did the move again. All right, and it's really hard to defend. It's really hard. All right, and they are on one accord between Hunter Renfrow and Derek Carr. Definitely loved him as a captain. He had 2 touchdowns last week. An outstanding game against the Colts the week prior. He's on a roll. Have him hot, and then you got Darren Waller coming back in the mix. He's another captain option. If he's getting warmed up week 18, 2 for 9, 22 yards. I saw him out there. He's getting the wind back under his legs. A couple drops and a couple miscues, but I think everything's going to get back on track for this playoff game. If we're looking at week 11 against the Cincinnati Bengals, he had 7 catches, 8 targets, 116 yards. Wasn't able to get in the end zone, but if he did, you're looking at a 30 fantasy point game from someone that's only 7,000 salary flex, and he's just a little bit more expensive if you put him more in the captain spot. So these are the 4 key guys I want to focus on in the captain spot. Everyone else pretty much can be a flex, but these are big guys to really build your lineups around. I love these choices right here. Let's continue on to some other guys I like. If I had a choice, obviously, Joe Burrow has the better wide receivers. He's more talented, but the defense on the other side is something to watch out for. Derek Carr, on the other hand, if we're looking at fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks, the Bengals are a little more just a little bit less in defense right here. We're looking at 17th rank and 12th in the red zone. Bend but don't break. But these opportunities, if you get Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow in that red zone, there's only there's only 1 game slate here. I'm gonna lean towards him throwing that ball up to Waller or Hunter Renfrow getting open in that red zone area. So those are going to be X factors. I like Derek Carr. Bengals are giving up 270 yards passing and pretty much 2 TDs a game. Okay, so this is somewhere we can go in that flex position. Not saying captain, in the flex position, we could definitely look at Derek Carr, and obviously we can definitely look at Joe Burrow at 11K. Joe Burrow has been red hot fire. He's probably going to be one of the highest people owned if you're just looking at these last 2 games. But this is going to be different. This is going to be different. All those stats go away. This is the playoffs, and you get him in his first game in the playoffs. It doesn't go well for a rookie, not rookie, but young quarterbacks. He's pretty much a rookie. He got injured. But for young quarterbacks in their first playoff game, it's not great. It's not great, okay? Unless everything's built around him, it's not 100% great. Joe Burrow is going to have to prove it, okay? Definitely prove it. Even if it's the Raiders, he's going to have to prove it in his first game of the playoffs. All right, I just have to put that warning out there because I know people are going to look at the last 2 games, smash it in there, and they're going to be surprised when the game starts, okay? It can go either way, but I'm just going with the numbers and what history has shown with young quarterbacks in these big spots. Okay, Joe Burrow, we're going to bump him down just a little bit, more of a flex play. All right, let's continue on. Let's clear this out. And let's find the other guys we can pair with Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Hunter Renfrow, and Darren Waller. Okay, next wave we can go to is Josh Jacobs. Okay, Josh Jacobs is not to be forgotten about, even though Cincinnati is building around stopping the run because they face all these AFC North teams. This is still a team that's going to run the ball in the Las Vegas Raiders. They need their bell cow, Josh Jacobs, to get going. He also is a dual factor in the receiving game, similar to Joe Mixon. They're about 1A to like 1C. I'd rather have Joe Mixon over than Josh Jacobs. But Josh Jacobs has been very consistent. And when they need someone in that red zone, he usually comes through and gets that touchdown. He's very consistent. As you can see, these games, over 10 fantasy points in each and every game. This is why I have no problem going to him in the flex position, saving a little bit of salary. Not saying he's going to destroy his ADP or current price. That's be more for a captain spot, and that's definitely somewhere you can take a risk at. but I feel like he's 100% safer in the flex, giving you a nice amount of points so you can go on and move on to other spots. Okay. Next will be some of these wide receivers on the Bengals. You have T. Higgins. If they zero in on Jamar Chase, T. Higgins can definitely have a big game, similar to what he did against Baltimore Ravens, 12 for 13 or 194 and 2 TDs. He has that type of upside. Week 14 against San Francisco, outstanding game. And then another game against the Chargers, 9 for 14 for 138 and a TD. T. Higgins was the number one guy. Jamar Chase has come in, and now they got a nice duo, pretty much a trio over here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Raiders don't have their hands full. They did a good job in Week 11. We'll see if they're able to put a nice game plan and try to confuse Joe Burrow yet again. But I cannot forget or fade about T. Higgins in this situation, okay? Especially if they try to zero in on Jamar Chase, try to double bracket coverage. Someone's going to get open, all right? Someone that's going to be more consistent other than up and down will be Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd at 5,600. Look at this consistency each and every week. Well over 10 fantasy points. So he's in that pool with Josh Jacobs. You got Josh Jacobs, you got Tyler Boyd. These are nice glue guys to pair with your captain spots. And you can really, he's been red hot. 3 straight games with a touchdown. Tyler Boyd struggling at the beginning of the season. I thought he was kind of forgotten about. 6 fantasy points. He had another 6 fantasy points against Green Bay, 1 fantasy points against Detroit. I'm like, what's going on here? But in the end stretch right here, getting more consistency. If the outside guys are getting bottled up, they're doing a type of zone coverage. That leaves the middle open. Tyler Boyd can definitely be that guy at 5,600. So I like him there. Let's continue on down. We got CJ Uzomah as the tight end. If things get open in the middle, he's been very up and down. He's had some big games. Now, this is somewhere I'm not going to 100% go to. You can throw him in there, but I would hope that he'd be at a cheaper price. 5,000 is kind of high for someone that rarely gets in the double digits, okay? A lot of single-digit games. It would have to be a great matchup for him. And if we're looking at fantasy points allowed to tight ends, let's double check on that. Raiders are middle. Raiders are no, they're not the middle. They're bottom 10 to be technical. If you want to move up the stats all the way up to the last 7 weeks, it adjusts. But the Raiders, from week 17 on, this is the full season of stats compiled. Raiders are 29th. The Raiders are 29th. Now, if I change this and we're looking at the last stretch, then it's a total flip flop. And I want to go with those stats because that's what, with injuries and everything that's been going on, we're looking at zero in the last couple weeks of games, last 6-7 weeks. The Bengals are the worst. They're 32nd and 32nd against tight ends. Okay, and I've seen it on a week by week basis. They've been struggling against tight ends. I want to go with that sample size of games because that's been the most recent. Especially with the guys that have been in and getting acclimated with the defenses over the season. Things change at the end of the season, okay? And then with whatever group you got left, that's what you're going in with the playoffs, okay? And if you're looking at the Raiders, like I said, they're bottom 10, 20 to 25th, so we can look at Uzomah there. We'll throw Uzomah in there at 5,200. He can have an X Factor type of game. Let's continue on with some of the Raiders. Bryan Edwards is going to be the number 2 wide receiver option in this offense at 4,800. He's very up and down, but he has big playability. Got 4 receptions, 5 targets, 63 yards. Almost got a touchdown. He had stepped out of bounds, but it was a great one-handed catch. He has that type of upside. He was a preseason darling, didn't really break out. This can be his opportunity to really show out for the Raiders and against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's someone sneaky to go with at the bottom flex position at 4,800. I love Bryan Edwards. I'm not going defenses in this game. If I had to choose one, then you can see a way where they can confuse Joe Burrow, take advantage, and you can lean the Raiders over the Bengals defense. Other than that, I'm not touching defenses. If I had to choose one, I'm choosing Raiders because I want to pick on the young quarterback. Derek Carr's been waiting too long for this. He's not going to throw away the game. He's not going to throw it away the game, okay? His last opportunity to get in the playoffs, he broke his leg. Derek Carr is not going to do it. He's not going to do it, okay? He's been very razor sharp this end part of the season, and he's really been the captain of his team. I really was impressed with what he's done this year, especially throwing the ball down the field. definitely staying away from defenses. We can go with kickers, okay? We can definitely go with kickers. This is going to be our third wave of guys. We got McPherson. We'll throw him in there. And then Daniel Carlson. This man is money. This man is money. He even bumped up his percentage. 93% field goals made this season. He was a #1 kicker in fantasy last year. They have an ace in the hole if things come down late. Evan McPherson, I believe he's a rookie, but he struggled this year, only 84%. That's another X factor that can come down late in games where you got a solid, bona fide kicker and then you got someone a little bit shaky. Let's continue to go down. Foster Moreau is the backup tight end. He's been getting some looks. He had a nice 44-yard catch last week against the Chargers. He can be an X factor, someone cheap to look at 3,200. So we'll throw him in the pool. Any other options down below here? Not looking at Samaje Perine. He's the #2. I think DeSean Jackson can be an X factor, a veteran on this Raiders team, and he has the type of ability to definitely blow up a slate. Someone very sneaky. You could put him at the captain spot if you really want to be risky and pay up at every other spot. I think that can be worthwhile because you got a speedster that can definitely take the top off the defense. And he's had big weeks against Dallas, week 12, in a big game. Against Dallas, in Dallas, 22 fantasy points. And then another big game. He had a great performance against the Rams in LA. In LA, he had 24 fantasy points. It takes one. It takes one for DeSean Jackson. He still has the ability. And the rate that the Raiders throw the ball down the field is very high. I can see him as a very sneaky flex play as well. Do we have anyone else down below here? I think we're done. Zay Jones at 5,000 is another fill-in, but I'd rather have DeSean Jackson because he's more big of an X factor than Zay Jones. He can take the top off the defense. But that will be our breakdown for the wild card game we got going on Saturday. Let me give you my final three before we get out. I might give you one more. So we're definitely going with Joe Mixon. I love Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. That's going to be the three. That's going to be the definite three in each and every lineup. And if you're choosing anyone else, then next would be Jamar Chase. Okay. But I'm just seeing a target volume going towards Hunter Renfrow and Waller on that Vegas side. And then taking advantage of the weakness of the Raiders, will be running that ball with Joe Mixon. So I'll definitely go him as the three main guys for Saturday at 4:30. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Messenger D, and I'll be back with another video very soon.